Look, quick question. Have you ever watched someone completely screw up financially? Like their business fails, their stocks crash, they get laid off, maybe they even go bankrupt. And then a few years later, you're like, wait, how are they doing better than me now? Meanwhile, you did everything right. You played it safe. You avoided crazy risks. You didn't make big mistakes. And yet you're still stuck. Same paycheck stress, same savings anxiety, same feeling that one wrong move could wipe you out. If you've ever thought, why do people who fail sometimes end up richer and people who try to be responsible never seem to get ahead? Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about today. Because here's the truth most people miss: failure doesn't decide who gets rich. What you do after failure does. And most people get this very, very wrong. My name is Noble, and I spend way too much time thinking about why some people build wealth after financial failure while others never recover. If you're someone who feels like one mistake could permanently ruin your finances, or you've already failed and don't know how to come back from it, this video is for you. All right, let's get into it. Most people believe this. Failure sets you back. That's what we tell kids. That's what school reinforces. And that's what your brain wants to believe because it makes playing small feel safe. But here's what nobody tells you. Failure is often the fastest wealth accelerator if you survive it psychologically. And that if is everything. Let's look at some uncomfortable facts. Most businesses fail within 10 years. But here's the twist. Founders who fail once are significantly more likely to succeed on their next venture. Even more interesting. Entrepreneurs who fail and then re-enter the game quickly tend to earn more over the long term than first-time founders. In other words, failure isn't the problem. Quitting is. This starts with psychology, because money math doesn't matter if your brain sabotages you. When people fail financially, one of two things happens. These people internalize failure. They don't say, that didn't work. They say, I don't work. So they avoid risk forever. They hoard cash. They stay in jobs they hate because at least it's stable. They stop making bold decisions. And financially, they flatline. These people separate self-worth from outcomes. Failure is just data. They ask questions like, what assumption was wrong? Where did I overestimate demand? Where did I underestimate cash flow? What skill was I missing? And here's the key difference. The second loss doesn't emotionally destroy them. That emotional numbness, that's not weakness. That's an advantage. Let's make this real. Person A avoids risk, invests $300 a month in index funds, earns about 7% annually for 30 years. After 30 years, around $365,000. Solid, respectable. Now person B starts a business, loses $40,000 over 3 years, learns pricing, marketing, and systems, starts again. Eventually, the business nets $120,000 a year. Even if it takes 10 years to figure out, they blow past person A without even trying. This is why playing defense rarely builds real wealth. The real cost of failure isn't money. It's hesitation. Every time you hesitate, opportunities expire. Compounding stops. Confidence erodes. And confidence is a financial multiplier. People who get richer after failing are willing to look stupid briefly, lose money temporarily, be wrong publicly. Because they understand something most people don't. Money flows to people who make decisions faster than others. Now you might be thinking, okay, but losing money is objectively bad, sure, but your brain exaggerates loss. Psychologists call this loss aversion. We feel losses about twice as strongly as gains of the same size. That causes people to hold losing investments too long, avoid starting businesses, stay underpaid for years, never negotiate. Ironically, the fear of loss creates bigger losses over time. Imagine two people, same age, same degree, same starting salary. Person one invests conservatively, avoids career risk, never asks for raises, stays secure. Person two switches industries twice, fails at a startup, takes a pay cut once, learns leverage skills. 10 years later, person two earns 3 times more, not because they're smarter, but because they tolerated short-term chaos. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Wealth rewards emotional resilience more than intelligence. Once you fail and survive, It changes you. You realize you didn't die. You weren't ruined. Life went on. That realization is freeing. You negotiate harder. You invest earlier. You spot opportunities faster. Failure becomes inoculation. Fair question. Here's the nuance. You don't need catastrophic failure. You need controlled exposure, meaning cap your downside, expand your upside, decide how much you can afford to lose without ruining your life. Maybe that's $2,000, $5,000, or 1 year of evenings and weekends. Constraints create courage, limited downside, massive upside. Examples: freelancing before quitting your job, selling before building, testing ads with $50 instead of $5,000. After every setback, write down what assumption failed. What would I do differently? What skill did I gain? That turns failure into an asset. The faster you re enter the game, the less fear compounds. Fear grows in silence. Confidence grows in motion. People who never recover financially usually didn't lose too much money. They lost belief in themselves. And rebuilding belief is harder than rebuilding money. Look, I know this is uncomfortable because it means playing it safe might be the riskiest move. Avoiding failure could be costing you years. Your comfort zone might be your biggest liability. But here's the upside. If you've failed before, you're not behind. You're trained. You've already paid the tuition. The only question left is, are you going to use the lesson or waste it?